This is going to be a long one. Try to get through it. This is from Loco right now. Loco, depending on how this tweet goes, I may follow you back. A deep dive into Destiny 2's tiered loot problem. While many issues currently exist in the game, from a lack of content to complaints about the portal, one of the core systems that have been most negatively impacted has been the loot system. Following the release of Edge of Fate, the loot system as it pertains to weapons has been flipped on its head, promoting a failed leveling system to earn loot in a way that is contradictory to Destiny 2's prior loot chase. Now that the power leveling system has been routed, the loot chase is in a dangerous state of limbo, where the game's replayability is at an all-time low and is threatened to get even lower. Well, I would say also content important too. Loco. I mean, just mention, like, yes, loot's an important part of that, but like the content itself has to be good. The following analysis and criticisms are solely to attempt to alleviate the loot issue and direct Bungie towards a brighter future for loot, where the player feels both rewarded and has a desire to continue to grind the game. So current issues that harm the weapons situation. 1, power leveling removal for 550 players. 2, existence of the new gear bonus. 3, the removal of crafted enhanced weapons. 4, the lack of perk disparity among weapons. 5, common tier 5 loot ruins the loot chase. 6, the definition of difficulty and skilled based loot. All right, we're gonna break down every one of these. Damn it, Loco, could you not fucking make this shorter? Power leveling removal for 550 players. The existence of power was meant to be a means of time gating the player from earning the best loot in the game. By removing the power reset without altering the loot chase, the replayability of activities takes a nosedive, as tier 5 loot can now be obtained within the first attempt of new content. With god rolls this easy to obtain, it does not matter how much new content is added to the game. Players will obtain their god rolls, then stop playing that activity as the purpose for playing is now fulfilled. The Renegades portal system is likely to continue experiencing the pains and issues the Edge of Fate introduced, that being the idea that tiered gear must be directly tied to player power level in the portal. Note, it is likely that similar to Kepler, the Renegades activity will be relatively self-contained, meaning that there should be a grind for specific loot offered regardless of power. This may also be the case for the dungeon if it takes any inspiration from the current feat system from Desert Perpetual. Now, existence of the new gear bonus. The new gear bonus provides a small carrot on a stick for players to grind for the already power-crept new weapons by adding some small level bonus damage to incentivize players to try out and utilize the new loot every season. While the purpose of the new gear bonus is to give a flavor of the season, it has been twisted into a detrimental version that only hurts the general loot grind. In its inception, the new gear bonus granted higher bonus damage based on weapon tier, only applied for the current season's weapons. The current new gear bonus grants 5% bonus damage regardless of weapon tier, applies to all drops, Edge of Fate, and beyond. The new gear bonus no longer fits without power resets, where there is a near indefinite extension to the new gear bonus. The only thing that the new gear bonus provides now is 5% additional damage to all Edge of Fate and beyond weapons that already power creep every pre-Edge of Fate weapon by multiple orders of magnitude. Outside of missing variants of weapon archetypes that have yet to receive a tier 5 version, this completely removes the purpose of grinding for old weapons. Seasonal mods should be incentive enough to use new weapons. Therefore, the new gear bonus should just be scrapped. So just remove the 5% damage bonus. Okay. Now, the removal of crafted enhanced weapons preface. In its inception, crafted weapons were a mistake, as they set a definitive endpoint for grinding an activity without offering an aspirational continuance for those that wanted it. Crafting allowed the player to craft their god roll after X amount of time, but offer nothing more after the pattern was acquired. The adept version of a crafted weapon, while having multiple perks, was also seen as worse because it lacked enhanced traits. The introduction of weapon enhancement made this issue disappear, transforming crafted weapons into the baseline of loot instead of the pinnacle of it. The enhancement system has solved the crafting issue by adding an additional avenue of grind other than the checklist that so many were accustomed to. It also created continuance beyond the definitive endpoint for crafted weapons by allowing better adept variants to exceed the power of their crafted counterparts. For example, if a player wanted a weapon close to that of a common day tier 5, they would have to display mastery in the raids, master challenges after obtaining every crafting pattern, grind ritual playlists, and reset them repeatedly to use earned ingrams to focus multi-perk enhanceable variants. Yeah. And what that really means is that a lot of grind. The removal of crafted enhanced weapons. While the presence of tier 5 loot negates the need for the enhancement system, the player loses the personal feeling of investment in the weapon that crafting enhancing offered. The player no longer can see the date of a weapon crafted, enhanced, cannot level the gun up, and cannot apply mementos. Everything from the amount of currency it took to upgrade it to the amount of time it took to acquire it in the first place is gone or reduced drastically. Objectively speaking, crafted weapons are equal to around a tier 2, which is weaker than the baseline for weapons nowadays. There's no harm in adding a dedicated endpoint for the casual player, especially when a crafted weapon isn't the pinnacle of that weapon's power. By adding this system back, it enables the more casual audience to obtain their god roll via crafting, while allowing the more hardcore audience to invest in their loot more personally. This also directly affects the vault and how obligated a player feels to store every roll instead of their personal god roll. A major overhaul to how loot should be earned is in the proposed solutions sections at the bottom. So you're saying add it back, add crafting back in for everything. Now, the presence of perk disparity gave the player a sense of direction, a chase towards the next best thing. In Destiny 2, grinding for the best possible variants of weapon. Jesus, how fucking watches this shit. Oh, god damn it, Loco. Fuck you, Loco. I'm not how the shit do you expect me to read all this shit? Can I just skip the part that matters? You don't have to explain to me. I'm in the shithole with you. Just go to the infographic and solutions then. Very good write-up. And I do advise everybody, take a look at it. All right, let's scroll all the way down here. He posted an infographic. Max power weapon chase in the final shape. Okay, new raids, 3 perks per column, adept mods, enhanceable, 1 to 3 perks per column, only some enhanceable, virtual playlist resets, 1 to 2 perks per column, adept mods, enhanceable, seasonal RNG drops, old adept raid drops, crafted weapons, and then RNG drops. So that's okay. So you actually worked your way up here. Okay, yeah. What am I supposed to get from this, Loco? This infographic? It is a display of the rarity compared to before. Okay, I get that, but like, is there like a TLDR solution? It's in bold. Number 1, remove the innate ability to acquire tier 5 loot from all sources except for raids, trials, and conquests. Build on the ability for players to eventually upgrade their loot to tier 5 in all of the sources with enough investment. There it is. There it is. That's the big one. You want the TLDR? There it is right there. But it says build on the ability for players to eventually upgrade their loot to tier 5 in all other sources with enough investment. So weapon leveling? Yeah, he talks about it up here. It's probably going to be a significant investment, but you could eventually upgrade your loot to tier 5. But the main thing is this. Do you want to remove tier 5 from everything except raids, trials, and conquests? That's the big thing right here. Like the second part, whatever. Can we get a vote on this? I just want to see where you guys stand. Do you want to remove tier 5s from all sources except raids, trials, conquests? Oh, and dungeons. Yes, dungeons should be on this list. No, this would likely require a hard sunset of all current tier 5 loots, either the removal of new gear bonus or sunsetting them entirely. Bungie cannot afford to make a new tier of loot above tier 5s, as we've already reached critical levels of power creep. We essentially have 3 unused tiers now, so we might as well use them. Right now, 55% are resonating with Loco, 45% are not, which is not a good. You don't want to just piss off 45% of your player base. All right, so right here, tier 5 weapons are now unobtainable at base outside of in-game content. High feat raids, Trials of Osiris, conquests will be the only avenues. Dungeons needs to be added to that too, for a 5% base chance at a drop. Rarities needs to return to Destiny. Tiered weapons 1 through 4 now have the ability to drop based on portal activity score. The score thresholds are dramatically reworked, where only exceptional performance with substantial negative modifiers grants a chance at tier 4 weapon to drop. Recreate the enhancement system that allows players to upgrade their weapon to tier 5 over time with enough repeated drops of said weapon. This method allows the player to always have the opportunity of a god roll, but allows them to always chase for a better version during their grind. The example of how this would work is below. Dismantling the weapon will add progress towards a tier upgrade. This upgrade is universal, cumulative, and progress is applicable to any future drops of the weapon. So these are the dismantling values. Tier 1, 1. Tier 2, 2. Tier 3, 3. Tier 4, 4. Tier 5 dismantle, 50. A tier 5 perk reroll. Interesting. This is the required progress to go from tiers. So tier 1 to tier 2, 5. Tier 2 to tier 3, 15. Tier 3 to tier 4, 25. Tier 4 to tier 5, 50. And then a tier 5 reroll, 100. I see the vision. I see the vision. Hold up. I do see the vision here. Rerolls allows a choice of perk replacement in columns 3 or 4. Doubles in cost after every replacement. Ooh, I don't like that. Loco. You had me till that. It needs to be expensive. Keep in mind, everyone, this is in a new world where tier 5s only drop from conquests, high feat raids, and trials. And when you say trials, by the way, what you're really trying to say is going to the lighthouse. Loco, is that correct? Going to the lighthouse is the only way to get tier 5s. All right, so you got to be flawless. Les, how many conquests did you do yesterday, Les? How many times did you complete Avalon yesterday? In my 5-hour to 6-hour gaming session, I did one run successfully. So the point I'm trying to say is if that one Avalon run, say we get it down, and we're actually able to do a run successfully once per hour. Is that one tier 5 per hour? What's the target here? It's a 5% chance at a tier 5? Are you fucking with me right now? Are you saying that if I did a Conquest Avalon, that there's only a 5% chance of a tier 5 dropping? Where does it say that? Loco, did you really say that? Guarantee tier 4? The fuck it is. You're going too hard. You're cooking too hard. That's too much cook. You're burning this shit. I get it. You want to add grind back in the game. It's a little extreme. At least make it guaranteed. That's some hard-ass content. A 5% chance? We at least had guaranteed adepts when we did GMs. So no one gets loot and the rich get richer. Absolutely atrocious idea. Some difficult shit, man. Some difficult shit. The filthy casuals is what brought us to this point. Oh, Lord. Gosh darn lower class gamers. I am torn, boys. I am torn. I don't know. I'm going to say right now, I don't know. I literally put in this system safeguard where you can craft your own god roll. Tier 5s are literally the aspirational loot if you don't want to grind. Right. But Loco, what do we do with this? What do we do? Everyone's vault looks like this, dude. You know what I mean? I got some old shit in here for sure. Now you're asking for sunsetting? Oh, dude, do you know how bad of a PR look this would be? Bungie introduced this new weapon system and loot system. And 1 year later, they killed it. Imagine a thumbnail. Look, a thumbnail existing that says they killed it. Title starts off, Bungie did it again. They killed it. Was their fault for not thinking this through? Just keep the game going the way it's been going. Then I'm sure that will work out great for everyone. Oh my God. Whatever happens, 50% of your player base is going to be very pissed. More than 50% of the player base is left. All right, let's roll the tape forward. Hey, all you people that left, guess what? Tier 5s are just to get now. You got to be a good gamer. You got to do conquests, high feat raids, high feat dungeons, and go flawless. Oh, why'd you leave before? The game required too much grind? Well, f you. It just got harder. Let me do this. One more poll. Is Destiny too casual? Is Destiny too casual? Right now, 47% says, again, another 50-50 poll here, man. Just about another 50-50 poll. For those that want more casual experience, you can grind for the crafted role. You don't need a tier 5. Loco, you remember when I looked at everyone back in September and I said, guys, you don't need a tier 5. And what happened? Everybody's like, you Cross. Not everyone is a tier 5 gamer. I know, but man, it really pissed a lot of people off. You know what I'm saying? Like, people they got pretty heated about that. Oh, man, oh man. I'm torn. Tough decisions are gonna have to be made. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I want to put my opinion. I'm just gonna watch. I'm just gonna watch. Look, man, you are just gonna make some people angry. Gonna make some people angry. Gonna make a lot of people angry if you go through that. Maybe go with 2 versions of Destiny 2 and Destiny 2 Tryhard. Let's see what's more popular. You know what? And now you understand why I said a Destiny Classic is a perfect way for Bungie to A/B test what people actually want. Thank you. What a perfect solution. It's like someone brought this up before. You know, there was a game I used to play called RuneScape, and they did the exact same thing. They had something called old school RuneScape and then RuneScape 3. And in RuneScape 3, that was the casual side of RuneScape where everybody can jump in and do the thing. And then old school RuneScape, that was for the real gamers. The real gamers. And what happened? Old school RuneScape overtook RuneScape 3. Why? Because turns out people, they like that grind. Now, I don't know how this would work for Destiny, but I would argue and say this. I'm just throwing this out here. Before we go and Destiny 2 and 2, not that it's not already f***ed. Could we try a classic? Boys, could we just try a classic? Could we just give it a go?
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.